So, in today's inspiring business stories, I have as a guest, a dear guest, Ahmed El Hamamsy, a supply chain expert, sales and operation expert as well, and the person who has built a very strong personal brand on LinkedIn. He is very recognizable there, and he has done it through the thought leadership on the topic of supply chain management. Welcome, Ahmed. How are you doing today?
How are you, Lisa? So nice to meet you today. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, yes, of course, it's a pleasure. And I'm sure that my audience is eager as much as I am to learn more about you, to learn more about supply chain management and about your personal story as well. How did you end up being in this industry? Would you like to share that with us?
Yes, sure, of course. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Ahmed El Hamamsy, if anybody doesn't know me. And I started my career in marketing. I worked in FMCG in marketing for like 7 years. I took my MBA through these 7 years. I worked in above the line, below the line solutions, brand management, building websites, and all that. And before everything happened in social media and all that, I started in that. Then I moved to sales and operation planning, and through my knowledge in the company, I moved to sales and operation planning, because sales and operation planning is all about collaboration between different departments. I had good relation with everybody due to my long years in the company. Then I started managing the sales and operation planning, and it was successfully, we hit all our targets and above the line and below the line. And I stayed in that like 6 years. And through it also, I worked in supply chain and demand planning, supply planning, sometimes in procurement and warehouse management. I moved through a lot of stages in supply chain. Also, I started through this journey, I started teaching supply chain through online with a consultancy team in Egypt, my home country. And I started also working on consultancy with some projects here in the Middle East also. So this mostly my journey, and of course, it will be coming also. I'll be talking about my LinkedIn journey, how I started. I'm a father for a 4-year-old also. I'm married,
That's
and
nice.
originally from Egypt, and moved to UAE for the last 16 years. I'm staying here in UAE,
Yes.
Emirates.
Yes, yes, that's very interesting, and I can tell Egyptians are really very professional people, and they are, I would say, they have well-known um, medical doctors internationally. Like they are very strong in that. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Um, yeah, so as far as I know, when it comes to the supply chain management, it's very important to have as one of the key skills building relationships. Like you need to build a relationship with supplier, with the logistics, with internal team. It's all about building relationships, and I could tell you are really good at it, and you have very good relationships with people on LinkedIn internationally as well. Um,
True.
so, what's the weather like in UAE? I'm really wondering.
UAE, the weather is nice here. It's most of the year it's hot, like in the 30s, sometimes 40 degrees. Humidity is high, but you have like 4 to 5 months. Yeah, I mean, from starting December till April, the weather is very nice. We don't have like cold weather or snowing here at all. Sometimes it rains, but it's like 15, 20 degrees for 4 or 5 months. The weather is amazing here. It's of course, it's a beautiful country. It's like have more than 200 nationalities here in the country. It's amazing culture. The Emiratis, they are very nice people, very humble. It's a good country, and there is a lot of Egyptians here, a lot of nationalities. So you have opportunity to mix with different nationalities and learn a lot. It's a
Yes.
beautiful country.
Yes. So, can you tell us, please, how did all this digitalization process and the COVID situation impacted supply chain management?
Yeah, well, let me first, not a lot of people, some people mix between supply chain and logistics. Let me define supply chain. Of course, it starts from supplier to consumer, the movement of product from supplier to consumer, and this and back and return back. So this movement, it's a circular movement. Before it was a linear movement, now it's circular because we need to also concentrate on returns and how returns and zero emissions, and people are starting to concentrate this environmental effect of supply chain, that's not only about profit, and people should focus on the social and environmental effects and sustainability. So this is about the supply chain, and the difference, of course, between logistics. Logistics is concerned only about the movement of the product till the customer, from the producer till the customer and the last mile. So it's just a small part of the whole chain of the supply chain. So if we talk about COVID, of course, as we know, it affected a lot of people. A lot of people lost their jobs, and a lot of people were staying at home. Here was the change that happened due to COVID. A lot of people staying at home, ordering online. It went like crazy, and it went in one of the months that was around. I think I read that reached like 1 million orders in a day. So it was
Oh, wow.
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy for supply chains, and of course, supply chain is all about customer satisfaction, customer relationship with the customer relationship management, as you were mentioning. So you must have a relation with the customer as a producer. You must make sure that the goods arrived in full and the right time and the right quantity, with the right everything. There is like 7 rights from them, of course: the quality, the quantity, the time. And this is very important to reach the product on time, because if the product doesn't reach on time and there was delays, consumers are not willing to wait. They will shift to another competitor. So this was a challenge to big challenge to supply chain during COVID. Deliveries, and how to make sure that the deliveries reach on time. So what shall we do? Shall we make a lot of distribution centers to be close to the consumers or not? This is an investment. Or shall we go with investment with a 3PL provider, which is third-party logistics provider, who is responsible only to make sure that the products reach on time, the right quality, with the right quantity. So this is about collaboration that you were talking about. So you need to collaborate with other logistics companies to make sure that your product reach on time. E-commerce companies that were not available online started to build their own websites and their own, and for customers to be able to order online. Companies who were delayed in that and did not have contingency plan and were working as if nothing happened, even during the start of COVID or before COVID started, because this is like a force majeure. All companies should have. This is part of the sales and operation planning meeting and part of supply chain. You should have a contingency plan. If you get an order of 1 million suddenly, or get an order like double the capacity of your production, double the capacity of your factory, what are you going to do? This is part of risk management and supply chain. So companies that were not prepared on that, they faced some of them went out of business, even, especially in retail, because the retail business suffered a lot, because people were not able to go. Everything is closed. People did not able to go and check clothes and all that. So all the retail business went online, and companies that are strong in that, like for example Zara, like other companies that have a good presence online, they thrived. And of course Amazon, of course, and those big companies, they like doubled and tripled their business during COVID. So of course, as we were talking about during COVID, deliveries on time, so resilience of supply chain, deliveries, flexibility, to be able to take more like double and triple the orders, because some products, the demand like increased a lot. So their companies must be flexible to meet consumer demand, to be able to compete in the market and gain more market share. Also, there was a trend towards Internet of Things and trend towards the technology and the companies moving to AI, because we know in supply chain the most important thing is information, the flow information from the supplier to the producer to the retailer to the consumer. All this, it must be very clear, it must be very precise, it must be very quick also, to be able to meet the strong disruption that happened and the strong change in demand that happened. So these are some of the points. Of course, it can take us ages, but to talk about that. But I really highlighted here the main points. Yeah,
Yes,
I
thank you
highlighted
very
here
much
the
for
main
sharing this
points.
with us. Yes, I understand. It's a really field of work that you could really speak for hours about.
Yes.
So yes, and what would you tell to somebody who is just entering this field of work, like how they could prepare themselves? What would be your advice for an entry level
Yeah.
people, or maybe even job seekers in the field of supply chain, or somebody who has this educational background but doesn't really have experience, how they can showcase this experience? I know you are really very good at it. You have chosen the right social media platform for that, the most credible one, LinkedIn. And you, as I've already mentioned, you have showcased your thought leadership on the topics of supply chain management there. And I believe many can learn from you on your LinkedIn profile, from your posts. And I'm a strong believer that we can all learn from each other. So I'm really enjoying sessions like this with you and with my other guests as well. And I would really love if you would share with us your journey on LinkedIn. How did you get started? And I know that it really takes courage, especially in the very beginning, to put yourself out there, but it's something necessary in order to build your personal brand and to showcase your thought leadership, basically.
Yes,
So,
that's true, of course. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
it would be really
yeah,
great
of
if you
course.
would share with us your journey on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, if we start by the journey on LinkedIn, then I will also give advice to people who are starting in supply chain. So about LinkedIn, I started like 8, 9 months ago to be more active. But I had it like long time ago, but I wasn't active at all. Only if I'm looking for a job or like sending a CV to an ex-colleague or something, or looking for recruiters, just send them the CV without talking to them or building a relation. I was not using it in the right way. Then I met some coaches on LinkedIn by accident. I was sending message and sending like my CV like this, and he told me this is not the right way. I will not help you. I told him, sorry, but this is why are you saying that? And I have experience and I have all experience. He told me it's okay, you have experience, but nobody knows about it. You need to showcase your experience. You need to be able to connect to people, to be able to collaborate with them, not just send the message like this. So I started to learn to listen to the guy, and he was here. He's here living in UAE. He's actually one of my first mentors here, and I owe him a lot because he opened my mind.
Yeah.
You know, you may have the experience and you may have the knowledge and everything, but if you don't share it, nobody will know about it. If you don't like be coachable and understand that every platform has its own way to use it, and social media, and it's different, LinkedIn than Facebook than whatever. So he opened my eyes to that. He told me use LinkedIn. LinkedIn people, not all people post on LinkedIn. People are still not posting. But if you post your knowledge, put your knowledge, help people to get jobs, start talk about your story, share your experience. You will know the beauty of LinkedIn. He told me, I am using LinkedIn like daily, doing that, helping people. I'm really enjoying it. So what you're doing, this is not the proper way to use LinkedIn. So I started to listen to the guy. I started to post like weekly. I started to post like my first article was like, don't hesitate, just act, go for it. What's the problem? So I started
That's
to
the
find people.
message.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes.
have courage. So I started to find people starting to put some likes, put some comments. I comment back. Then I started to talk about my knowledge, about my experience in supply chain. What are the key factors to be to have KPIs for supply chain? What is the push? What is the pull system? I started to post, and people started to put likes, put comments. I started to trend. Whatever I post started to trend. So I said, that's the right path. What I was doing before on
Yes,
this
that was good
platform.
feedback.
Yeah, yeah. I started to have good feedback. So I started to gain confidence to put more and more and more. I started to find myself connecting to people like you, like our friends. They're the great influencers who post daily. So I learn from these people. What are you doing? What are you posting? What are the things that I should do? I start to connect to big people with million followers and more. They gave me a lot of ideas like Shanae Moret, like Lorena Acosta, all these people, and I find them very humble, very down to earth. I thought like these people, they have million and I have like 2, 3 thousand followers. Are they going to talk to me? Yeah, they talk to you and they give you advice. And I started to learn what to post. Shall I put videos? They started to encourage me to do live, so I applied for live LinkedIn. I got approval. I thought about the idea of why not making a show to inspire people. So I started to interview people to share their story, and I found this successful people. All people need encouragement. All people need how to understand how these people went from 0 to 500,000 to million followers.
Yeah.
So people were inspired with those stories and wanted to listen, wanted to learn from these people. I found it also a lot of joy to listen and talk to and build relation with these people and to understand what did they do to follow their path. And you don't have to follow their path by imitating. You follow their path by being your authentic self. Just learn from them the tactics. What's the right tactics so that you're coachable? What should you post? Shall you post about yourself, about your story more, or about your industry more? Shall you do videos more? Shall you do posts more? Shall you do go live more? What is your combination of all? So all this, of course, journey, I'm enjoying it, and now I'm posting daily. I'm contacting with these people, engaging, making sure that I comment on other people, because this is really very
Yes,
important. If you comments on people and share with them, engage with them. Of course, all is that make you more visible, make your content more visible to people, make you more reachable, makes more people want to connect to you. So you're starting to be a magnet to different people and people with a lot of followers. And that's all about personal branding. So my advice to people who are starting in the supply chain: don't worry, you have knowledge. If you learned something in the university, express it. If you want to reach out to people, there is a lot of people here and groups about supply chain. So go post on it, interact with people, connect with people. That's the way. It's better than just sending your CVs. So connect with people who understand and talk about supply chain, and they will be more than happy to share their knowledge with you. So learn from them. It's sometimes it's better than going and getting certificates and not applying them, because you're learning from people who apply daily this in their field. Talk to them and also upgrade and upskill yourself and have stackable skills. If you go to LinkedIn Learning, for example, and you'll see a lot of great, really great knowledge there that you can go and take a certificate. And everything went online, as you know, during the COVID
yes,
and all that. So education online became also very accessible for everyone. So go ahead for it. I've said to them, be bold, learn and upgrade your skills and work on your personal brand.
Yes, yes, definitely. What I really find very important when it comes to personal branding is sharing your personal story as well, because you
Yeah,
know people will might not remember your name. You know, usually they don't remember your name, but they will remember your face and they will remember your personal story. This is something that really sticks in their minds. Um,
true.
yeah, so sharing a personal story is very powerful way of building a personal brand as well. Um, so I also wanted to ask you about any anything personal that you would like to share with us. Let's say, is there any mistake that you did in your life
Of
or
course.
something that you wish you would have done differently? Um, anything comes to your mind?
Yeah, of course, of course. So we all do mistakes, but the point is just don't stand on it or don't regret or don't dwell on the past. But of course, before I used to dwell on the past a lot and stay like thinking about this for years and years and years, and this will stop you from moving. If you're not living the moment and not working on yourself every day. If you dwell on the past, if you lost an opportunity, we're living in every day you have an opportunity. Every morning, if you when you wake up and have a positive mindset, it's a new opportunity for you. So don't dwell on the past. Yes, of course. Before for example, I've been on LinkedIn for 11 years or 10 years, maybe, or 9 years. I don't know how long. I've been active only for 9 months. Imagine if I was active this way 9 years ago, maybe I had like million followers or something, but it's okay. This is life. It's as long as you started to learn and walk the right path, be grateful that someone lighted your path and told you what you're doing is wrong, and be open and be honest with yourself. If you're going on the right direction and someone helped you and cooperated with you and gave you advice, take the advice if it's good for you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Take the advice and go
I think
for it.
something happened
Yeah,
with the screen.
yeah. Is it okay now?
So Ahmed, please tell us how is the supply chain management related to the marketing? I mean, we are both from the marketing field. I can see now that we have both these backgrounds, and I was present in the FMCG field as well as a brand manager, both for production and distribution company. I can tell the importance of it, but I would really love if you could tell us a little bit more from your perspective about it.
Yeah, from my perspective, they are both related. When I worked in marketing, I used to dream that I need this product to go to this place in a second. But it's like the unconstrained plans. Like we
Yeah.
want everything to happen quickly. We want the customer to be satisfied. We want to retain the consumers. We want to build the emotional presence and all that with the consumer and the trust with the consumer through the right product and to be the product to be in the four P's that we know, and the right place and doing the right promotion and all that. But when I moved to supply chain, I discovered that these people, they do a lot of effort for the product to reach on time. It's not like in a blink of an eye things will go. So I moved from unconstrained planning to constrained planning to understand for this product to reach what's the status for the material for that. Do we need to expedite some shipments for the marketing plans to happen or not? Do we need to check the production capacity? Is the production capacity enough this month to make sure that we are reaching our sales targets and our market share targets or not? What shall we do? Shall we go and, for example, produce something with a competitor or with another, or shall we increase our capacity as a plan to increase our capacity to meet the market demand? Or shall we produce in 1 month more and store and what we call make to stock For example, if we're ready for a month that we expect a peak in demand, for example, all these things I learned in supply chain, and that's how they are both related. So marketing is about creating the demand, and demand management is part of the supply chain, part of the planning of the supply chain. Of course, supply chain is about plan, make, source, and return. So this is like part of supply chain. I learned this through my movement from marketing to supply chain.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you for sharing this with us. And the last question would be about the social currency. What are your thoughts about this? I mean, now that you have built a strong presence on LinkedIn, and I'm sure you are so much aware of it. I would really love to hear your opinion on it.
Yeah,
Social
your presence.
like
Yeah, of course, the presence of.
something that we should all invest in, right?
Yeah, it's something that everyone should invest in. Really, I'm surprised that even till now, I hear the statistics that still 1 or 2% of people on LinkedIn are active on
Yes.
posting, creating content, and doing videos and going on live shows. Really, this is the what people should invest in, and should people think in. They should think of being present. Don't be shy. Be bold. You have knowledge and you have experience that people are really interested in. You're on a social media platform with now growing to 760 million and more. Someone out there is interested in what you have to offer, really. And when helping people to understand more knowledge and gain more knowledge, helping people to find jobs, really you'll find a joy that's not worth money. It's really worth a lot of value when you find someone sending you, thank you for sharing this knowledge, thank you for sharing this information, thank you for helping me understand sales and operation planning or some supply chain things or a concept in marketing, or thank you for connecting me to this recruiter and I found a job. And really I got all these experiences in the last 9 months only. Like I helped like 4 or 5 people find jobs. I'm not a recruiter. Just by
Yes,
joining,
yes.
yeah,
That's the power of connections. Yes.
just by networking and recommending this person to a job, and through like giving some webinars for supply chain and putting this on LinkedIn. I'm giving found people coming in, for example, and I help them and they thank me for that. And so all this is it's really great that you showcase what you have. You showcase your brand, of course, very professionally. You have a professional picture, you have a professional summary, and of course you are the expert in that, and on building the right LinkedIn profile, and to make sure that people, when just skimming through your profile, they understand who are you,
Yes.
what do you have to offer, and how you can help people to build their knowledge and experience more and more. So I
Yes.
think that's about social currency, and trying to be present, of course, in not in one platform only, but different platforms. But this is something different. Yeah, let's start
Yes.
even by LinkedIn for people, which is the most professional social media platform, I believe, that's existing right now.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yes, for sure. Well, I could tell as a war survivor, in my experience, really, there's one thing I've learned from that experience as well, is that we can lose everything material, but there are things that we cannot lose ever. And
Yes.
those things are our education, our knowledge, our experience. And nowadays, because we're living in this times of the digital online world, it's social currency. So yes, that's something definitely worth of investing in. And I can tell you, social currency is also very valuable.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
doing a great
Same to
job.
you, coach. Of course, yeah.
Thank you. Keep doing a good job. And really, I would like to invite my connections to connect with you or to follow you. What's really important on LinkedIn is to provide value to the others, and you are one of those content creators who is doing that. So I would strongly encourage them to connect with you or to follow you. And thank you very much for this interview. It was a pleasure to find out more about supply chain and the connection between supply chain and marketing, as well as to share your own true story of your LinkedIn journey, which I believe is very interesting for many.
Thank you so much.
Ahmed, thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank
Let's
you.
do this sometimes again.
Yeah, sure. We will do it again and very soon. And it's really my pleasure. And I really like also what you're doing on LinkedIn and all your knowledge and experience that you share. And you're helping a lot of people to understand all about LinkedIn and social media. So bless you and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish all the best to you and your family, and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Take care. Thank you. Thank you,
you.
everybody. Thank you.